Hello, and welcome back to the show where we don't know what we're eating until after we're done cooking it. Before I dive into the fridge, I just wanted to recognize someone. I'm not good at this. Some of you have seen a previous show I did, a satirical news show with my great friend Jess Pratt. Her husband Dean composed the music for that show and for this one. In 2019, Dean was diagnosed with stage 4 colorectal cancer. He began huge amounts of chemo, radiation, drug trials, surgeries, like everything. And for those of you doing the math, that means he composed the jingle for this show while he was going through that entire process. He just took time to do a little jingle for my little cooking channel. He was a brilliant musician, mainly a trumpet player. He was brave. He was curious. He was really giving. So before I put out more episodes that include his music, I just wanted to say thanks to Dean, and to say that every time I share what I do, I'm also sharing a little bit of what he did. So we'll miss you, Dean. Thank you so much. In honor of him, I'm gonna cook something inspired by him, something with him in mind. Not that I have any idea what it is yet, but he'll be my inspiration.
What is in your fridge? 'Cause I really want to know right now.
The food memory that I actually associate with Dean wasn't with him at all. It didn't include him. It was actually me talking with Jess over the phone maybe a year after he was diagnosed. Dean was vegan for a while. But part of the thing for chemo with a lot of people who are fighting cancer is their appetite goes bloop. And so Jess and I talked about what she could make for Dean or what Dean would eat that would be both vegan and super high calorie. So I think that is a great jumping off point of what we can do that is super filling and vegan at the same time. Also, vegan high calorie is not a combination that is often advertised, is often talked about. So I think we should do that. Also, that means I'm not gonna do a salad. Preserved lemon, rose harissa, spinach, leftover chocolate sauce, cherry tomatoes, green beans, kale, mushrooms, bell peppers, and a lemon that I've taken the zest off of already. In here, we got meats and cheeses. Frozen fruits, frozen garlic. We have little baby potatoes, peanut butter, those Harvest Crisps that are amazing. I saw those potatoes, and I see peanut butter. Right? I jumped to potatoes and peanut butter. We'll see what happens. Maybe a spicy peanut butter sauce, like I did with the rolls. When I made the rice paper rolls, I did a spicy peanut butter sauce. How should I cook the potatoes? I'm gonna get out the potatoes, get out the peanut butter, see what speaks to me. I don't know why. I also got out the garlic, just because. I guess the best thing to do is either do mashed or roasted potatoes. Either way, whichever way I decide to go, I'm gonna need boiling water, I'm gonna need to cut that up small. You know what? Decision-making time. I am going to cook these so they're crispy. I'm gonna just do chunks of crispy potato that I can dip into a sauce to 450 or something. So I'm just gonna cut up these in large enough that I can pick them up with a fork and dip them, but small enough that they won't take forever to cook. And I would say a 1/2 inch to 1 inch is good. What I should do, the best technique for this, I should do is take my smallest potato, and if it's gonna be cut in half like I'm doing now, cut everything else to be about that size. So use the food itself as a template. So things are gonna cook at slightly different rates, and also they're potatoes. It doesn't they don't have to come to a specific internal temperature. Don't worry too much about it. It will be fine. I'm gonna cook them in different sizes. That's the way it goes sometimes. It's just me cooking. It's I'm getting pre-defensive about how I've done this because it is super haphazard. And I'm just gonna add a bunch of salt. Let's call that a teaspoon of salt. I don't know. This is one of these recipes, one of these techniques that is infinitely forgivable. Now we can talk sauce. I think I'm gonna go forward and look for seasonings that go well with it. So peanut butter is super rich, so I want something to cut that, like lemon, and I have a lemon. Let's look at spices that I have. I have this spice blend that I got when I was in San Francisco that I've loved for years and years. Sun-dried tomatoes, rosemary, lemon peel, fennel, black pepper, chile, I think garlic, sea salt, citric acid. It's the citric acid that adds that cut of lemon. Interesting. I think that actually that would be really good with peanut butter. I've never seen it, I've never heard of it that way, but I think that's where I'm gonna go with all of this sort of roasted potato dish. These are large pieces of fennel and all of these things, and I kind of want them to be broken down more. So I'm just gonna take a mortar and pestle and just do that. It sounds faster than getting out my spice grinder. A honkin' piece of thing. That is the technical term for it. I think thyme would be a nice addition to all of this. And peanut butter, we'll see. Onion powder, definitely, a bunch of onion powder. This is the only onion ingredient I have in the house right now because Greg doesn't really like onions and I had the last two myself. I'm just gonna pound all this together. Now the potato water has already been salted, but I don't know that that's enough. And potatoes can take a lot of salt. As anyone who has ever made mashed potatoes and then added a boatload of salt after, you know. You know what I could do is actually roast the potatoes with all of this and then do like a peanut butter lemon sauce to dip. Dump it into the mixing bowl. Oh wow, those are basically coming apart. Whoopsie, might have overcooked them. Okay. Do also some kind of fat because fat is high calorie compared to other things. So vegan fat, olive oil, done. But I'm gonna add them directly to the seasonings right now. Get them all coated. Oh, that smells so good. That onion powder and the fennel. If I had been super smart about this, I would have put in this roasting pan into the oven when it's preheating so that right now I would be putting all of the potatoes onto a hot surface already. Didn't think about it, it's not gonna make that big of a difference. It's delicious. I am gonna put it in, the top part of the oven, and I'm going to cancel the oven, do convect bake at 500, and just get it as blazingly hot there as humanly possible because they're already cooked through. Like they're done. They're roasted potatoes. They're delicious. They're wonderful. But I want crisp and crunch, and I want the outsides to be just dip-worthy. So sauce. We have lemon, we have garlic, the fresh garlic, and we have peanut butter. I'm just gonna juice it. Because I know I'm not gonna be using that much, you can actually just cut off a side of it, and you've avoided a lot of seeds, and you can just squeeze this. Melt down the peanut butter. I'm just gonna like do it in a bowl and microwave it. 30 seconds. And I'm gonna add some raw garlic, kosher salt, and the friction of the salt helps break down the garlic a bit. Start smashing with the side of my knife, and you get that raw garlic flavor in sort of a paste. One could say, Wesley, you're really into making these pastes because they're, distribute more evenly. Why don't you just buy garlic paste? Well, it's because I don't think ahead. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna get a whisk. Have I done anything to make this non-vegan already? No. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm doing it without looking, cause it's not a knife, so I feel safe. Oh, wow, this worked so well. Oh my God, that's so good. This is the weirdest flavor. I love it. I was gonna snack on something. I was gonna get a rice cake and peanut butter, but like, having tasted this, I have renewed patience for what I'm gonna eat. I'm very excited about it. Amazing, done and done. I can already tell it's done. Look at that, so much more color. got some black bits, which is fine because we are not afraid of char in this house. I'm gonna sneak a bite because that's what one does when one is the cook. It's not sneaking a bite, it's tasting. Like, does it need salt? Does it need anything else? Like, time to cool down. I don't know how well we'll be able to see this, but like perfectly browned. It's amazing. Fantastic. That's how potatoes should be. Dip it in the sauce. Kind of sweet. Yeah, the second ingredient is definitely sugar. Super fun, actually. It's the whole thing is sort of herbal. There is a kick to something. There was chili in the spice mix. That's what it is. The potatoes, because we boiled them first, the outside is cooked so much, it's so crunchy, and the inside is still super creamy. That crispy to fluffy ratio is like amazing. I'm glad I ground up all those spices because they got more evenly distributed and they didn't burn. And the sauce, it basically seasoned, thinned down peanut butter. Big surprise, peanut butter is much more versatile than I thought. I mean, I was gonna share some with Greg. I don't think I will. I don't know how to wrap this up in a sort of not hokey, not minimizing kind of way, but Dean was a really good guy. And I'm really grateful not only for the things that he gave me, but just even thinking about him gave me an opportunity to do something that I wouldn't otherwise do. And I hope to have that kind of legacy myself, This is really good. So thank you, Dean, for being my inspiration. Hope you tune in for my next episode. Love you guys a lot.
West Side Story Prologue by Dean.